Right now on WHAS11 News at 5, we've hit a record high of 99 today, and more record highs will be in jeopardy over the next several days. We'll be showing you how long this extreme heat wave will last coming up.
Plus, Jamie Knoll has pleaded guilty to dozens of charges, but the judge is not ready to sign off on the deal just yet. We're hearing from a legal expert on the steps Judge Larry Medlock is taking before closing the case.
And later, coming up in this hour at 5:30. After 6 years, the results are in. We'll have the latest update from Louisville's Green Heart Project after planting many trees in a South End neighborhood. WHAS 11 News at 5 begins right now. But first, breaking news here at 5. You may have seen a moments ago on ABC News right here on WHAS 11. Former President Donald Trump once again charged tonight, accused of trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. A revised indictment this time around presented to a new grand jury keeps the same criminal charges previously filed against him. However, it narrows the allegations. The new indictment follows the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling that gave the former president immunity from prosecution. A lot more on this late-breaking story is coming up from ABC News on World News Tonight at 6:30, right after WHAS 11 News at 6. And right here at home tonight, Louisville firefighters battling some big flames at a house, and the heat this afternoon, of course, a house on fire in the South End.
That fire started right around 3 o'clock on Haywood Avenue. That's near Churchill Downs. Louisville Fire Captain Donovan Sims told our crew there on the scene that once firefighters got there, they found everyone who was inside had made it out okay. No injuries reported. Sims also said they're taking extra precautions because of these high temperatures.
We're always prepared. Our members know, we're staying hydrated. We have extra companies on scene. We have an air bottle truck that, is here because we're running through those bottles faster.
And the cause of this fire is still under investigation. Switching gears now to that extreme heat, take a look at the temperatures outside. That is how hot it is right now all throughout Kentucky, and 97 degrees right here in Louisville. We warned you yesterday about a possible record-setting high temperature today. We didn't set that new record, but we did tie it at 99 degrees. The big blessing, of course, this week, Doug, lower humidity.
It's blistering out there. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. The return of the heat wave. How many more days left of this, Ben? Because I know you're saying the real-time temperatures are even going to get up higher.
Yeah, several more days throughout the rest of the work week. Thankfully, the old saying, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. The humidity is low. That is helping things out a bit. We've had the heat index up to around 110 with previous heat waves. Well, it actually feels 1 degree cooler than the record high of 99 that we set today, because the humidity last hour is down to 26%. And that is what is keeping us away from getting those heat advisories and the heat warnings. A record high tomorrow is 100. So back in 1953, we're going to be very close, threatening it again with a forecast high of 99. As we look over at U of L with our U of L Health Camera Network, our Belmont Village Senior Living Cam, we're at 97, so 2 degrees cooler than that record we set earlier this afternoon. And the humidity still really low at 28%. So this is a dry heat. Temperatures in the metro, 99 downtown, 96 in Shepherdsville, Sellersburg and Linden at 98, and it's all 90s throughout the entire viewing area. So take care out there, and we'll just say that every day throughout the rest of this week. High pressure, clearing out the rain chances, lots of sunshine, and building that heat. Closest rain up in the Great Lakes and down to the south over the Gulf of Mexico. So things remain quiet here and just hot as we look at Futurecast this evening. Overnight lows will be in the lower to mid 70s, and then skyrocketing temperatures once again for our Wednesday as we head up again to around 99 degrees. So for tonight, down to 75 degrees, already 94 at lunchtime tomorrow, and then that forecast high at 99. We'll take a look at the rest of this heat wave, and then we'll look at some rain relief and temperature relief down the road in the 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. With that heat on everyone's mind, it's even forcing outdoor sports practices in Louisville to start earlier or later in the day.
But school districts aren't the ones keeping an eye on the rising temperatures. The vendors at Worldfest here in Louisville are currently setting up at the Belvedere on the Ohio River right under the sun. Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter tell us what measures people there are taking to try and stay safe.
One thing vendors setting up for the annual Worldfest are keeping in mind are the rising temperatures throughout the week. Most of them work in the food industry where they are already surrounded by a hot environment. Employees at Enrique's Place, a traveling vendor from South Florida, know about the heat all too well, especially when they fire up the grill.
Actually, when we're cooking and we're inside the booth and everything's, we have all the steam tables on and we have the grill on and we got the flat grill on, all the vapor inside the tent, all that heat, it feels way hotter than what it normally is. So if it's 100 degrees out there, inside there, it feels like, it's like literally like Hell's Kitchen.
Project manager Brian Enrique Quintero says they focused on hydrating this week and plan to take turns switching positions when it's time to open.
When you come here, you're invested in it. Doesn't matter if it's rainy, doesn't matter if it's sunny, your money's invested. And you got to try to get back what you put in.
The high temperatures are also a concern for outdoor sports like football, where you can see the heat waves coming off the turf. On Monday, JCPS started asking schools to change their practice times.
We do have the flexibility of having practices at different times, so we're waiting for that sun to set and have it a little bit later, or early morning practices are available for student athletes.
The school district is also using tools to help measure how hot it gets. Athletic trainers are using this special thermometer, and pellets are scattered across to help cool down the turf.
Turf fields can get pretty hot and melt cleats and things like that, so we did the extra expense of adding the cooling beads in. As
sports schedules move around this week, Worldfest is still set to kick off with a hot start this Friday. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 on your side.
And Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg says there will be emergency responders parked at Worldfest and encourages attendees to bring water and, of course, stay hydrated.
Just so you know, there are dozens of locations across the metro that act as cooling centers this time of year. Those include 8 neighborhood place locations, 14 metro parks and rec community centers, 16 Louisville Free Public Library sites. For a full list of places offering relief from the heat, head to our website, WHAS11.com. And with the extreme heat we're facing this week, it's important to be mindful of the impact it can have on your health, specifically the side effects for those of you taking certain medications. Here's a look at the medicines which could cause a problem in the heat. Pills meant to regulate blood pressure can lead to dehydration. Those of you taking antidepressants might notice it's harder to stay cool in the heat. The same goes with aspirin and over-the-counter pain relievers. To learn more about your medication's side effects and the best way to store them in the heat, visit the link on this story on our homepage, WHAS11.com.
Now's a good time to download the free WHAS 11 app. You can get the latest weather updates and, of course, the current temperature and the heat index. It's the WHAS 11 app.
Today, a new opportunity for Jamie Knoll's alleged victims. The judge on his case invited anyone impacted by the former Clark County Sheriff's alleged crimes to speak at an upcoming hearing.
Judge Larry Medlock says he will not accept a plea agreement with a 15-year sentence until residents have had a chance to speak, and he weighs those comments. Our Focus Team reporter Travis Breeze is joining us here at 5. And Travis, you've been following up on the judge's request that he made in the courtroom yesterday. How is this going to work, and do you have any idea if people are already responding?
So the Ripley County Prosecutor's Office might be catching up from the fact that the prosecutor was in Clark County all day yesterday. They have not been able to give me a firm number of people who may have called today. I also asked on Facebook if anyone's willing to self-identify and tell me that they have called. I am awaiting those responses. Judge Medlock said people should speak in person, and we believe that will happen at Knoll's sentencing hearing. Carl Price is a former prosecutor who's practiced law in Kentucky for 30 years. He is familiar with the Indiana laws in this case. Even though Knoll admitted guilt to 27 charges, if Medlock denies the plea agreement, there could still be a trial. Price told me what that might look like.
Understand that you're dealing with a judge and not a jury. And the legal system trusts that judges can separate the two more than jurors.
Because the jury wasn't in the room to hear that?
That's correct.
So I guess you would hope that you get a jury of people who didn't watch the news yesterday.
Absolutely. That's what I was about to say.
We have no reason to believe that Medlock will deny the plea agreement. He just said he wants to hear from the people of Clark County if they believe it is a fair deal. That number to call the Ripley County Prosecutor's Office and Ripley County Prosecutor Rick Hurdle and see if you can give a victim impact statement is 812-689-6331. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from 2 New Chapel EMS employees who say Jamie Knoll needs to get more than 15 years. In the studio, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.
All right, Travis, thanks for the update there. Well, all of this comes amid the latest arrests in connection to the Null case. 2 people appeared in court yesterday. Clarksville police officer and Councilman John Miller sat with former Clark County Councilwoman Brittany Faree for their arraignments. Both are charged with official misconduct, allegedly failing to disclose a conflict of interest when they used their council positions to fund New Chapel EMS. Prosecutors say both stood to benefit from that funding, as Jamie Null was using those same dollars to fund dinners, concert tickets, and even child support payments for both Miller and Faree. The attorneys for both defendants responded to the allegations in a similar way, saying their clients didn't knowingly commit any crimes, and what Jamie Null admitted to does not affect their case.
There seems to be allegations that he made payments to her for various things. There's no indication that she knew where that money was coming from.
It doesn't affect it at all. There's no question, or seemed to be no question, that Jamie Null committed a lot of wrongdoing. There isn't any evidence my client has.
Both Miller and Faree have posted their bonds. They have been ordered to have no contact with anyone connected to this case. Miller and Faree are due back in court on October 11th. And the LMPD officer arrested for theft last week is no longer behind bars. Downs was arrested on Friday, accused of stealing $4,000 from a person he arrested while on duty. Today in court, he pleaded not guilty to theft by unlawful taking and first-degree official misconduct. He was released on his own recognizance, meaning he didn't have to post a bond. His next court date has been set for September 16th.
And a man has been arrested in connection to a deadly stabbing that happened last month in Louisville's Newburgh neighborhood. According to the arrest citation, 35-year-old Marcelino Martinez is accused of killing someone with whom he was in a relationship. The night of the incident, the two were in an argument that turned physical, which led to Martinez allegedly stabbing the woman several times. She later died at the hospital. Martinez left the scene, but police say they were able to track him down using doorbell camera video and witness statements. He's charged with murder, and his bond is set at $75,000. The former mayor of Shively, who is now a current Kentucky State Representative, Beverly Chester Burton, is facing charges after being arrested on DUI charges this morning.
This isn't the first time she's been in custody facing these kinds of charges. Shively police say she was arrested right after 1 a.m. According to the arrest citation, LMPD officers witnessed her drive into the wrong lane and then stop her car, disrupting traffic. They then say she backed up into the correct lane and parked her car in the road. The arresting officers say she smelled strongly of alcohol and refused sobriety and breathalyzer tests. She's charged with driving under the influence and reckless driving.
Well, the lawmaker has been serving as District 44 state representative since the beginning of 2023, and before that, she served as the mayor of Shively. This is the second time Chester Burton has been charged with a DUI, which she pleaded guilty to back in 2020. Now, we contacted the Kentucky House Democratic Caucus to see if they had any comment on this incident, and they said that they are very concerned about the charges, but without knowing any more information, they are unable to comment further at this time.